I love a buttered biscuit.
Because I'm an idiot. I'm a boomer. Muted. Yeah, it happens. You know, I reached up and grabbed my microphone like I was going to be smart or something. And well, this is what happens whenever you're, like me, not smart. Good stuff. Man, oh, live, man, oh, live. Yeah, we are finishing out, finally finishing out the Edgecomb stuff. It is going to be over, done with. There will be no more after tonight. It will be the end of it. It'll be nice to sort of break away from doing the Edgecomb stuff. Not that I haven't enjoyed it. It's just it has been so much going on with it that I'm just like, I am ready to make it stop, make it go away, get down to the very, very last nitty gritty portion of it. It is going to be the final bit of closing arguments coming from the crazy one. Hey, Jocelyn, how you doing? Yeah, I boomered it. Yeah, welcome, Mo Raiders. Welcome. Oh, yes. Good evening, Jocelyn. Good to see you. And it is also good to see you too, Tammy. Yeah, so this is going to be the last bit of it. We will be finishing it all out, be done with it. We won't be doing any more. Oh, cool. No worries. That's very cool. That's very cool. And what do we got here? Oh, damn, that sucks. Oh, poor Mo. Oh, poor Mo had some. Oh, man. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Oh, what the hell? I had no idea. Oh, damn. Damn. Wow. Oh, that is no good. Sorry to hear that shit. Fuck me running. No, that's some damn. Just damn. Looks like fuck me running. No. Yeah. Meme coping is saying that. Shit. That's never a good thing. Yeah. You were just there? Yeah. Yeah, they arrested Rekieta. That is exactly that's exactly what I was looking at. That just came in. He's got court pending. drugs 5th degree, possession schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4, and possession of ammo, any firearm, user of control, and Kayla is his wife, same. Drugs 5th degree, possession schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4, possession ammo, any firearm. Yeah, that's him and his wife. Would have happened today at 11:30 in the morning. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know if it's true or not. It's Nick Rekieta and his wife. Yeah, that won't matter. It's something in his own home. That doesn't matter. It's being out in more than likely he was out and about whenever that happened. Damn. Don't know if it's true or not. Don't know if it's true. It's don't know. I mean, looks like it could be real, but that's pretty brutal. If it is if it's not true, that's So if that was 15:49, it would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's weird that the intake date, the times are different. His is at 10 and hers is at 11:30. So that could have been early in the morning. Ouch. That's rough. Looks like meme copium is looks like let me open it up on YouTube so you guys can sort of see. And this is
Dick Masterson. Nick has lost an unhealthy amount of weight.
This is
hard to believe, but was taken into protective services because they homeschool, right? Like, if both the mother and the father have been arrested on these, it looks like drug possession schedules 1, 2, so does the abuse potential. Schedule 5 drugs represent the least potential for abuse. A listing of drugs and their scheduling is located in the Tussum. Tussum, that's kind of funny one, actually. Also representing any persons who may be a manufacturer, wholesale, 5th degree drug crime. If you've been charged with a 5th degree controlled substance offense, the first thing you should do is consult with a lawyer so you can begin to develop your jail time. I will take this bet. When you say jail, defense lawyer straight away. It's so stupid because defamation is so hard to prove. And what damages has Nick actually done to Montegraph in terms of financial? Clause 1, who has not been previously convicted, which she must have been if she was arrested at the same time as him. Because if you look at the convictions, like, they're arrested the same day. So you assume that all three of them. So we got Rekieta, his wife, and April. They're all arrested on the same day. He had camera off. And I think there was like a split second where there was actually camera on. And people saw, like, what the fuck? Is that a black eye? Was Kayla like punching around us? Drug, ammo, possession. It's a slam. It was an entertaining show. Dragons. To escapism. I stopped drinking. Normally started to talk about this.
What did you say?
Which is an MMORPG like World of Warcraft. If you're, he became an alcoholic, but he kept his mind in that same place where he thought he wasn't. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And when you're an alcoholic, because, as Nick said, if you're an alcoholic, you'll change your life to accommodate the drinking, and that's on stream. No, I'm doing a drinking stream tonight. Like, when I say drinking on stream, I don't stop drinking on stream. I stopped like buying big bottle of whiskeys to just drink straight up because I didn't want that to be my life anymore. Like, I was waking up on Saturday mornings after my Friday stream and saying, holy shit, what a
Yeah.
shit show. And it was okay because I was making a bunch of money. I was like, you know what? It's fine. You know,
No,
when you
it's
do a
not.
job, sometimes your body takes a beating. So it's fine. You know, it's fine.
No, it's not.
No, that what I do now is I've changed I'll just buy like 4 drinks or something, and then I won't go get more. And then it's like I know that if I drink this amount, I won't get blackout drunk. My life is actually much.
So what happened is Nick Rekieta was arrested, as was his wife. Drug possession charges, possession of firearm, probably in the middle of all of this. That's going to be drugs second degree. Looks like that's what he's been charged with is possession of Schedule 1, 5th degree. So this is pretty insane.
I think that's what
Hey.
he's been charged with.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. So how about this? I'll just mute it here for a second if I need to. You good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you fine too.
Are we good now? All right.
Yeah. So Nick Rekieta was arrested,
I was just watching Tug and Megan talk about this.
as was his wife. And yeah, that's just crazy.
It's heartbreaking.
It is absolutely heartbreaking because we don't want that people to go to. So it was not just alcohol. No.
Four different types of scheduled drugs is what it looked like on that.
1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a class 5 felony is what he's being charged with.
Has there been any word of how they were arrested? Like, we have the report that it occurred, but like, where did this come from?
No clue. I have no idea. I'm sure that somebody has more information, but they'll probably be really quiet. Yeah, they could lose custody of their children easily.
Heartbreaking.
But they do have, the thing is they do have family that can easily step in there, and they have family in the area that will probably step in. They won't be given to the state or some crap like that.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
As I pour myself a drink, of course. Yeah. No, there's that's something that got way too out of hand.
Yeah. It was wild. They pulled up a video from a year ago where he was drinking and talking about drinking, and then a video from this week, and just to see the change in him physically. It sucks. It sucks when you see someone like he's on a platform so we could see the disintegration. It's exposed to everyone, and
yeah.
I mean, hopefully now he will get the help though.
Yeah, that's what it is hoped, that he gets the help that he needs. So yeah, it's drugs in the 5th degree, possession of Schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4, possession of ammo, any firearm, user of controlled substances. So if there was it sounds to me like they were probably out and about. And that right there would be, enough to, like, there's a possibility, Nick with his car being Nick, and might have been pulled over for speeding. And the officer was like, yeah, something's not right with this guy. He's not looking quite right. Maybe he's saying something that just doesn't match up. Maybe his speech was slurred or something. And they, did a search, and that's what they found. So it's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could have been that someone called the cops and had them come to their house. Who knows? It's like rough. I went back and watched some videos last night. 1 year, 6 months, and the one Tug showed last night. You can see it's so sad. Yeah. No, it is very true. 5th degree, possession, Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 possession. Yeah. And right here, why I really drink and don't do drugs. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It could have been any number of reasons. Somebody could have called the cops on him. He could have got pulled over for speeding. He could have done anything. We don't know the details. And all that we can do is, hope that he gets the help that he needs and gets back on a good, true path. Because I mean, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah. I unfortunately hadn't gotten to meet him before. Like, this current state is why his name caught my attention, or I became aware of him. But all I have heard from other people is what a great man he is, and the positive things that he did for their lives.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking to see like one of the good ones suffering so publicly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
A great success. I think someone may have. I would hope if someone who was close enough to them to know their like address or contact info, they would have reported them, because it's hard to see. I mean, reporting someone's hard because, like people were saying, then you risk losing the kids. But if that's the state he's at, intervention is the right time.
Yeah, intervention is something that might be needed.
Yeah.
And well, we'll see. We'll see. He may end up getting out on bond. And be the better for it. That's all that I can hope. That it's like I heard that he was going to be taking a little bit of time off, was what somebody was saying. I don't know if it was all tongue in cheek or what, but it was like, oh, he's going to be taking a little time off. But yeah, this is not the way you take time off.
No.
From streaming.
No.
And she's not looking too good either in this.
The wife
picture. Yeah.
Mm-mm. And then was it the nanny who was arrested with them, or
was that the nanny?
In a chat, like speculation, did not confirmation. I was wondering if you knew.
I don't know. I thought his nanny left him.
Okay.
That's what, like left working for him or something like that.
Gotcha.
Don't know if it's true. Don't know anything about. I mean, that's more information than I even know. I can't confirm anything. I don't. Nick and I are not like buddy, and we've never. I don't think we've ever been on the same stream together. Mm. So I couldn't tell you what his relationship is with any of these people. And for me to do so would be just speculation, and
that's fair.
Chat probably would know more, but I don't trust chat half the time anyway. With giving me the truth.
They're rascals sometimes.
They're rascals, but they're not always on top of it like they need to be. Yeah. So I am actually finishing out Edgecomb tonight. I've got about another 40 minutes or so of Edgecomb, and then it goes to doing some new stuff. Wow. So somebody said that drugs and guns in his house. Well, which we knew he had guns, but and somebody else said what was it? Coke and Molly. Mm. Oh man.
I only hope that like he had those guns secured, because otherwise that's child endangerment charges.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's I mean, that just I was not expecting this to, like, I had a wonderful date with my wife tonight. It was wonderful. We had our monthly meeting, which now we're going to probably skip a month. So that's pretty cool. And then I said, well, we just do dinner because we're going out of town tomorrow. She's like, okay, sure, we'll go somewhere. So that's what we did. And I get back and I see all this.
Not what you expected after a beautiful day night.
No. Of course, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. It just, somebody somewhere in the world is going to do something stupid, and we're report on it.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, it's a situation that he's put himself in. Let's put it that way. It was completely unavoidable. It was completely avoidable, and well, it didn't happen that way. So I got crazy stuff. I'm just still like surprised. Let me see if I can copy this here. Image, and let me see, paste it there. That's somebody that hasn't seen it yet. Yep. Crazy stuff. The wokes are cheering right now. I don't think so. If they are, then they're just sick.
Yeah.
Had a better day than I did. Well, sorry. I mean, I try to keep my head up above water. Try to stay cheerful. Because there's enough bad days that I've got to take what little good days I do have, and celebrate them as much as possible. Especially spending time with my wife. I mean, come on, that's pretty damn awesome.
I love how much you love your wife.
Oh, I love how much I love my wife too. Well, that's it's so weird where I hear people, they're just like, oh, wife, evil, horrible, rotten. I'm just like, well, she's absolutely the worst, the best, the greatest thing that's happened to me. What can I say?
I don't think you need to say any more.
That's the best part about it. And let me pull this up. And where is the store? There it is. Right there. All right. Now we get to the last part of cross-exam was done. And we've got the DL5 jury charges and redirect and recross. We haven't gotten that done yet. No, it was the closing arguments. That's where we were at. Closing arguments, and we're halfway through an hour and 24 minutes.
Damn.
Oh yeah, this is the fun one. I just find it damn annoying. Share screen. There we go. She said her husband said, "What the heck?" versus "What the F?"
When you open the door, especially at night, your lights are on, right? Her lights were on because you're going to see later that those same headlights were going toward Mr. Edgecomb.
Hey, Jim,
but when the lights were on, when you open the door, some cars, the interior light comes on. That would further be an indication that that door was open. Sometimes you might hear some type of noise when a door opens. A chime, if you will. So she doesn't recall that.
If you will.
And again, I'm sure it was a traumatic situation, but again, we have to determine how much. Some credit should be given to her testimony, absolutely. But how much do we give it? And that's where we go back to the board. This is how the state is improving their case. Guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? No.
Yes.
So let's go to the next slide. She said her husband told her to turn the corner because he wanted to talk to Mr. Edgecomb. But the video shows that she likely made an illegal turn from the middle lane to make that right turn.
Yeah.
She also admits that Mr. Edgecomb was no longer a threat when he got back on the bike to leave. That's important.
But that's not what we understood.
That's important.
That's not.
I don't know if you recall when we stopped the video, and you probably were wondering, like, what are they doing? And why is this point being driven so hard? Because we wanted to make sure we look like complete dumbasses and drive this home with the wife of the deceased husband, the widow. We want to drive this home and make her think that all of this,
Like,
Yeah.
all of this was her fault.
Yeah.
Like,
Of harassing a grieving widow.
yeah.
It's horrific.
Yes. Yeah. Who's a handsome man standing in the burden of proof chart?
Sure that she agreed that Mr. Edgecomb was not a threat to her at the time he punched and got back on his bike. And that's why we asked questions. He said, so he's in front of you, right? Yes. You see the back of him, correct? Yes. And at this point, he's not a threat to you. She said, yes.
So if he's not a threat, then what does it hurt if you say something to him? So if you're not perceiving a threat, then what is it for you to say, hey, guy, come here.
Yeah. There's no threat. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. No threat. You didn't perceive a threat. See, that he hasn't thought these things through. He's got small brain. He's a criminal on the run. How is that not a threat? Well, he wouldn't be an imminent threat. You know, not that he wasn't a threat to society, but no, he's not a threat to them. They could have walked away at any time. Like, if they would have just continued to drive on and reported him to the police never would have done anything. They would just like, well, sucks for you. What do you want us to do? It would have been a simple assault if they would have found him. If they would have found him. Doubt they would have. I guarantee they wouldn't have gone back to look at video cameras over someone getting punched in the face to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
That's too much effort. But whenever an attorney gets gets their body shot, then they're definitely going to be trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But him getting punched, yeah, they'd just be like, cry me a river.
Yeah. That's a fist fight. Get over it. Everyone, move on.
Yeah.
Got a gun.
That's important for a couple reasons. Number one, it shows that Mr. Edgecomb retreated, or the word that you're going to see in the jury instructions,
Or run like
he
a punk ass
withdrew.
bitch.
That's the word that the state is not going to want you to pay much attention to. They want you to gloss over that fact. Withdraw. That's what it is. He got on the back. He got on his bike. He proceeded forward. He turned a corner. That's notice that's imputed to the Cleeremans at that point. No doubt about it. The next point is she also admitted that she could have kept driving straight to go home. I don't know if you guys, members of the jury, I don't know if you recall. I don't see it here now, but we had a board.
Could have, but she didn't, and that does not give him the right to shoot him.
No.
So, all the points he's making are just like, that's not enough.
That we referenced at a couple times in the trial. And in that board, we look, you turn right here, what's these locations here? And we asked, okay, so which way is home?
You notice that they stopped dropping the hard R here after his testimony.
I'm dumbfounded that they let him continue to testify in that way and repeat himself that many times.
Oh, it wasn't. The makeup of the jury was primarily black men.
Okay.
And they were hoping that it would make this guy out to look like he was this horrible white supremacist, blah blah blah. And I think it fell apart whenever his wife of color shows up on the stand. Whenever they find out he's an immigration lawyer, and then it was just like, we'll just let them do it. Just let them do it, because they're just going to bury themselves in this, because nobody believes that this is true. Like, if they do, then this is the kind of stuff that you hear someone someone that probably would not be serving on a jury say.
Yes.
It's you're like, if you grow up around like poor white trash, which I did, tend to see the same thing on the other side, where it's just like, well, the black people do X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, it's, you've got this stereotypical thing in your head. It's not true. It's like these people, white, black, whatever, Hispanic, German, Russian, whatever. They're just trying to live their damn lives. In general, they don't care. They don't care about your color. It gives them something where they sort of like, he looks like he might be a gangbanger. Maybe I don't go up and ask for a light for my cigarette. Maybe I don't, show off my gold watch to him.
No matter what race you are, there are those who are like law abiding, and then there's those who are not. There's a scummy side of humanity that is not distinguished by race. Like,
right.
There's the derogatory side of everyone, and it's to in this situation push so hard and say that it was anything except a shitty man shooting someone frustrates me.
Oh, and him being, and not to give, that the attorney was completely in the right. He should have never got out of his car. They should have just continued driving on.
Completely.
But that's not what happened. And this is the situation you're in. And this is, you hear people say, well, I'd rather be, what is it? I'd rather sit in front of a jury of 12 than be carried by a jury of 6.
Yeah.
It's like, it's rough that, this is the meme of society where it's just like, you turned this guy into a meme. Be Ivory Lamar.
Mm.
I mean, it's just awful.
And she testified that, this is the board thing. Thank you. So you remember the board, but we asked which way is home.
Because we got sick of watching you play the damn video over and over and over again.
And here's Brady Street. Here's the intersection where the X is. One of the witnesses during the course of this trial placed the X at that intersection. That's important. And she testified that home was straight. That would be the direction to go home. So Mr. Edgecomb had already made his right turn already.
Bad Doug.
He already made his right turn. That's not a dispute. You've seen it in video. She decided to go take a right turn after Mr. Edgecomb, likely under direction of Mr. Cleereman.
Oh. Closed caption and...
So when the state comes up and they talk about, he's a cold-blooded killer. He's a cold-blooded. He's violent. He's all of this. Mr. Edgecomb at this point now, he punched somebody. And the question you have to ask, did he have a firearm at the time he punched the first time? Did Mr. Edgecomb have a firearm on his person the first time he decided to punch Mr. Cleereman? Of course he did. Of course he did. If Mr. Edgecomb was a cold-blooded killer, why not take the gun out at that point and shoot at that time? Why? Why not? He was upset. And again, we said at the beginning and opening, there's no justification for punching anybody. Mr. Edgecomb should have called the police, let the authorities handle the situation. He should have done that, just as the Cleeremans should have done so as well. The state asked Mr. Edgecomb yesterday, they said, when you came down that stairwell, did you know it was a police department right there? Did you know it was a local police department right there? When they were...
Yeah, drive this message home. Did you know there was a local police department right there? No, man, I had no idea. Well, what about the police department that you had to pass on your way home, the other one? There's 2 police departments in that whole area. At what point did you think you were going to turn yourself in? No. We're just going to leave the state. And not only did he leave the state, he came back to the state and then left again.
What an idiot.
And then decided to toss the weapon. He was on the run for 6 months.
Insane. And he felt unsafe, not society. He's the murderer running around freely in society.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. His attorney, the way he speaks is so manic. So out there. And it's a lot. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy, and wasted energy is what I look at it. Hey, how's it going? Oh my. Yeah, GD, good to see you.
Really, Mr. Edgecomb? When he was nervous, the same question applies to the Cleeremans. Actually, the Cleeremans would have gotten there faster if they had a vehicle to get there. They could have used the same vehicle they turned to go after Mr. Edgecomb to go to that same police station that the Attorney Huebner came up and asked Mr. Edgecomb about. Could have went to the same police station, but they didn't. And that's, members of the jury, are why we're here today. They didn't.
No, that's not why we're here. We're here because your client shot a guy in the face, ending his life, and then went on to run for 6 months. That's why we're here. Might want to get it straight there, B. Ivory.
Nothing stopped the Cleeremans from taking a video. How did Mr. Edgecomb get apprehended? They did great work using video to track him down. Just like they are tracking him down for a murder case, as we're here today, they could have tracked him down for a simple battery case. A misdemeanor. For punching Mr. Cleerman. They could have used the same.
No, it's not worth their time to go after a simple battery. It is not worth their time and resources to go after a simple battery case. They wouldn't have used all those resources. They've been just like, okay, dude punched you. You want to press charges? Who are you going to press charges on? Well, I don't know. Can you pull the cameras? There you go. Okay. You want to suspend resources on pulling cameras.
He makes it sound like anytime any law is broken, immediately an investigation is spiked. And it's like, no, unless someone is pressing charges and it's a heinous crime, the cops are not adult babysitters. We treat them that way, but they have things they need to be focusing on, not hunting down every punched face.
Yeah, I mean, I had my car parked at a movie theater. Someone broke out the window. I called the cops, filed a police report, and they were like, "Okay, see you, bye." Well, why don't you pull the cameras? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's going to cost less for you to just get your window replaced. Just go get your fucking window replaced. I'm not wasting my time on your bullshit tonight. There's people that are in real need.
Exactly.
Just your window getting broken out is not a real need. You'll survive.
Technology to track him down for punching someone, but they didn't. That's key.
It's not.
Next slide.
And see, this is why they keep going hard at her. Like, they are just going so hard at her. It does not make them look good.
No.
She enabled her husband to pursue Mr. Edgecomb while he was on bicycle. No. Admitted a gun was brandished by Mr. Edgecomb. She shouted out, "He has a gun," but says her husband did not hear her.
Even adding the word admitted there. Like, she's not admitting guilt for something. She saw something and she said it, but she admitted it. The word choice just makes her, like, it shows how they're trying to make her look scummy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
So, Ms. Cleereman also, confirmed that, she enabled her husband to pursue Mr. Edgecomb while he was on the bicycle.
Riding, that's what
we just talked about that. She admitted that a gun was brandished by Mr. Edgecomb. She admitted, she shouted out, "He has a gun," but says her husband did not hear her.
And the defense attorney and the prosecutor's just sitting there staring at him like, dude, you're getting your ass handed to you.
Has a weapon brandished. That was his testimony, right? On direct, he talked about, I had my weapon. He said it was around his waist area. He said, I brandished it. Well, can we, now I know, listen, we know certain parts of Mr. Edgecomb's testimony, you're probably like, okay, it's some part that, especially in cross, that, is questionable because he was scared. He was scared at that point. It wasn't me talking to him, it was somebody who's trying to convict him of murder. But when Mr. Edgecomb was actually said, yeah, I had the gun brandished. He said, I used my left hand and I said, stop, do not come any closer. That came out on direct. The gun was out already. The gun was used to deter
But he didn't
conduct
see
from
it.
Mr. Cleereman.
It wasn't
But it
used to
didn't work.
deter.
Even his wife, who loves him dearly, yelled out, Jason, he has a gun. That didn't stop.
Because she loves him, she yelled that.
Yeah.
He
And
kept
by
on.
that time, he had already pulled the gun out and
Ladies
shot
gentlemen,
him.
That's why we're here today.
We're here because your client
Next slide.
shot a man in cold blood, then went on the run for 6 months.
2 points here. Ms. Cleereman admitted that Mr. Cleereman got so close to Mr. Edgecomb. This would be invading his personal space. She admitted that her husband advanced toward Mr. Edgecomb.
Yeah. That there's only one way to get from point A to point B is to advance.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, did you see that picture of my child whenever he was younger? Well, every picture of you is when you were younger.
Fair point.
I mean, can't be of you whenever you're older. Only when you were younger.
I mean, with AI now, you can make just about any kind of picture.
Yeah, but it's still not a picture of you. It might be an AI developed picture of you, but it still won't be a picture of you.
So initially, she testified that she seen her husband walking toward Mr. Edgecomb, which is fair. She pulled off and she used her vehicle to catch up with Mr. Edgecomb. And then she turns on her flashing lights in the bike lane. You've seen the video.
Yeah.
So maybe it's fair that she didn't see a part of the jog as the state has described it. We consider it to be running or hunting someone down. But the more friendly term is jog. But nonetheless, we don't have to talk about words because it's just wordplay. We seen that yesterday. We talked about the testimony of Mr. Edgecomb. It's wordplay. Just words, different ways people describe things. Ms. Cleereman described it as advancing toward Mr. Edgecomb. Nonetheless, the evidence now shows that it wasn't Mr. Edgecomb who was advancing toward Mr. Cleereman. Ms. Cleereman's testimony says it was her husband that advanced toward Mr. Edgecomb. That's why self-defense is at play. A cold-blooded killer doesn't run. How many cold-blooded killers run? Cold-blooded killers normally go after who they're trying to kill. That video shows Mr. Edgecomb running, trying to save his life. That's her testimony. Next slide. Okay, we talked about that there was a warning first, then the gun, she touches. So then immediately after the gunshot, she goes to the scene. So immediately after her husband is now on the ground, she gets out of her vehicle and she goes to the scene. Now, you've seen the video. And she gets out the vehicle within 6 seconds. And she goes over to the body, she reaches down, and I count it. It's 4 seconds. Count it. When you get in the jury room, go over to the video. Now, the defense has actually enhanced the video to try to make it more clear. You're gonna learn Mr. Edgecomb had to give $5,500 to have Mr. Mark Robinson fly in from New Jersey to testify about enhancing the video, because it's important that you see.
Jeez.
This case is about seeing. It's not about just hearing different versions. Thankfully, we got A-class evidence in this case. Men lie, women lie, video does not. You got permission, members of the jury, to believe what you see. So what she kneels down for, we don't know. She testified that she placed her hand on her husband's back to see if he was alive, then she ran back to the car. Very possible. We don't know. And neither does the state. We don't know. But that was her testimony a year and a half later. You know who didn't ask that question? The Milwaukee Police Department when they were investigating this case. She was never asked. Why did you go out the first, why did you go the first time? There's no record of that. Now, we later learned, and we'll get into that later, that she goes a second time. Again, she retrieves You know, they don't say. She makes a 911 call, you know, and she testified that she wasn't able to remember her PIN code initially. Very possible. Again, it's a traumatic situation. That's very possible. You know, it's, your mind, I can understand your mind not working the same. But, so that being the case. However,
I
at the
can
time that Ms.
understand if
Carter
your husband
comes
shot
on,
in the head.
she testified. She came right to this stand and she said that.
What was that? Say that
Well,
again.
I can understand if she, you know, she's a little confused. She saw her husband get shot in the head. Of course, she's going to have some level of shock going on.
Yeah. Yeah, much more shocked than the guy that just pulled the trigger and took
Yeah.
off running.
Yeah, she was in a feared for her life situation. This is so frustrating to watch.
Oh, trust me, I know. And him, Ivor Lamar is not helping out whatsoever. He is like, oh, and prosecution is gonna just eat him up on read whenever he finishes out his closing argument.
Between the time that she got back in the vehicle and you see a red SUV come around, Ms. Trotter testified that she was on the phone with somebody. That's the testimony in this case. These are the confines of evidence that you have to consider. We don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. Either does the state, and that's why we have reasonable doubt, because they can't prove guilt beyond it.
What? Yeah, they can.
You also
He
heard the
confessed to
testimony
killing him.
that she said she wasn't in the car with Denise's boyfriend, who was an off-duty police officer. Then later she says that after seeing the video, she said, "Oh yeah, I do remember him. The police officer, the off-duty police officer who came, Ivana's, boyfriend or husband." She's like, after seeing the video, "Oh yeah, she recalls that." Again, sometimes after traumatic situations, your memory can fade. That's possible. Our point, members of the jury, is that just the testimony is not reliable. That's all. That's it. No blaming anybody. That's reasonable to not recall.
No, you've been doing nothing but blaming
Only thing
everybody
is,
else.
The state has to prove it beyond
That's
a
all you've
reasonable
been
doubt.
doing.
Next slide, please. So, she had.
So here's where I think he failed the biggest part of where his failure was. Okay. And it is the jury heard her testimony. You don't have to have them repeat every single thing that the jury already heard. And try to spin it in your own way.
Exactly.
It's like, because her testimony was very damning, all you had to do was just get a small portion of it, say he was attacking and he was doing this, and bad stuff happened or something. I don't know how I would defend it, but definitely not not be talking crap about this lady like this.
The way he's telling me how I should interpret her testifying, don't insult my intelligence. I can come up with my own conclusion. Like he's not winning any points in my opinion.
Yeah, he hasn't won any whatsoever with me, and that's I think the biggest part is you're not winning with this.
No.
Admitted to removing a wallet from her deceased husband's body, and we do not know what we saw was that when the wallet was removed. We do not know when the wallet was removed. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Admitted that she did go to Mr. Cleereman. Now, this is all before the authorities arrived. This is all before Milwaukee Fire Department, Milwaukee Police Department, anybody gets there. It's just civilians at this point. She testified and admitted that she went back and forth with Mr. Cleereman while he was laying on the ground, not once, but twice. Then she admitted to removing a wallet from Mr. Cleereman. And here's the issue. We don't know when that wallet was removed.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know when the wallet was removed.
After
She
he was
admitted
dead.
Of taking the wallet.
The wallet was removed after he was dead. Simple as that. Man, I'm too busy admiring Big Johnson to hear a damn word of this guy.
I just read that.
Yes.
I love my dad.
Shizzy, please refresh my memory. When was this case from? This was after, I want to say about a week after what's his name, Sept, that ran through the crowd in his SUV in Kenosha. It was not too long after that. Darrell Brooks ran his car through the crowd in Kenosha, but he hadn't gone to trial yet. And this was after Kyle Rittenhouse, probably 2021, 2022, like right after Kyle Rittenhouse had been arrested and was free. Yeah, it wasn't too long after that. Hey, Baker. Yeah, Brooks.
Baker.
Yeah, Baker. We got news, man. We got news. It is heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just found that that Rekieta was arrested. Yeah, Rekieta has been arrested and thrown in the pokey along with his wife. And I was trying to I saw the name up there, that April Emolte. And that right there is something else. I'm not sure if I want to even go into it. From what I'm hearing is that April Emolte is has a husband, and that supposedly she was given a Hummer to somebody. What is it? When was this? April 23rd, 2024. So
we'll do our 2 no shows and we're done. Number 44, State of Minnesota versus April Diane Imholt, court file 73 BB 24538.
Mr. Morgan appears. Ms. Emholt does not. Mr. Morgan.
Your Honor, this is a VB file, so the state would request that the conviction be entered, stayed for 10 days to give the defendant an opportunity to appear.
Conviction will be stayed for a period of 10 days. Bail schedule, fine amount plus cost and disbursements.
yeah,
We've seen developments in.
That was April Imholt, which is a also part of Rekieta's group. She used to be on a stream with Steel Toe, another streamer. So she apparently she's been hanging around Nick. And from what I see is they're saying that she was the one that was giving him a Hummer on stream. So don't know if any of that's true.
Interesting.
But hopefully whatever is going on, that this stuff gets sorted out. And yeah, people just want to see like him crash and burn. I mean, that's the worst part about it.
Which is so heartbreaking.
It is.
Like, It's one of the
Oh.
more frustrating, disgusting sides of humanity is when people are really struggling and at their lowest, not like we gawk at it or make, commentate and, the bystander effect instead of going in and helping. The camaraderie of society is so lacking today compared to just when I was a kid.
Oh, so she's the babysitter is what they're saying, but I don't know.
The nonno.
Don't know. All I know is everybody really just wants to watch. They're like, oh, let's watch him crash. Instead of like, hey, dude, let me give you some help. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Instead, it's like they just want to see him go down. It's like, it's sad.
It's easier to watch the show than it is to be strong for someone when they're struggling. And that's the unfortunate truth of society.
Same here, Broken Baker. I started my channel the same way because of him.
Damn.
And it is really sad to see. I mean, had it not been for Nick saying, hey, anybody can do this. You just have to be willing to do it. Turn on the fucking camera and go. That's why it's so rough to me to see this kind of.
Yeah.
And then to see everyone just go, oh, bring him down, tear him down. Yeah, Volstorm. What is up, brother?
And Catherine from Arizona.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing, and this is somebody that's much smarter than whoever said it was just his babysitter. April Omolt, who has been living with the Rekieta since she left her estranged husband, aka the Steel Toe Morning Show. They were almost arrested around the same period of time. So, like 90 minutes later, after April was arrested. So it sounds to me like maybe she went to her parents' home or something like that. But no, she had been staying with the Rekietas. Allstorm is here. Then my RO says I have to leave. See you in the morning. You take care, brother. You take care. Yeah, this is crazy stuff. I mean, I was hoping to finish up the Edgecomb stuff, but this is like one of those where you just see it happening in real time.
Yeah. Well, it's almost surreal in that, when you watch someone who is as loved and as popular as Rekieta on his platform disintegrating, it almost just feels like an act. Like we can't actually be seeing this happening in front of us, but it is. This is a real human man struggling, and people are just there for the stream and the chat. And there are those, like, not disregarding those who are there because they care and they love him, but
right. I don't mean I'm not close with Nick, or I probably would have had things to say to him. It would have been like if I would have, because I hadn't been listening to Nick in quite some time, but had I been listening to been in his orbit, I think I would have had things to say, like a lot of things to say, like, dude, you need help.
Yeah.
I know these I know the signs. Let's put it that way.
Addictions like cancer. I don't know anyone who hasn't been touched by either, if not both of those things, because they're so prevalent in our society these days that it's heartbreaking to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm updating that right there. Change it. I mean, if we're talking about it, might as well. saw a sign and opened up his eyes. Shizzy saw the sign. No, and I did. It wasn't until somebody else pointed it out to me. I mean, but if I was in his orbit, being around him like on a regular basis, why the fuck didn't Drex step in and say something to him? You know, like this is a longtime friend, or maybe Drex tried, but he just booted him out. I mean, it's I mean, I would have had things to say to him. You know, that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go whatever direction for the live you feel is necessary. Yeah. I mean, it's rough. It's rough. Now I'll do some more of the Edgecomb stuff just because I want to get through it, and I'll probably talk about the rackets afterwards. You know, might have a little bit more information. I can only speculate so much, so that's the unfortunate part of all of this.
We understand you want a piece of, okay. She said she wasn't interested in the contents of that wallet. Fair game. When was the wallet taken?
Doesn't matter.
We don't know. The defense does not know. Guess who else doesn't know? The state. Did the officers or the detectives ever ask Ms. Cleereman when she said, hey, I have his wallet, right? And then, remember, Officer During goes to Detective Kirkvold, and he said, I'm Detective Kirkvold, Tyler Kirkvold. And Officer During says, hey, I have her wallet. And he says, did that come up out of him? Go into it's in the body worn camera of Officer During. It's that video. And he says, did that come up out of Mr. Cleereman? He said, I think so.
Yeah.
He said,
you haven't talked
that's a
too
problem.
much.
Testified that I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's a problem. The other detective next to him said, incredible. So what happens next? At that point, Detective Kirkvold orders Officer During, go find out where that wallet came from. Who got it? So you see on that video, Officer During says, okay. And now he goes and he asks Officer Mahela, and he says, do you know where this came from? He said, no, I don't know. He said, I think the white guy. He says, I don't know, or maybe MFD.
Get to feeling better.
Maybe they got it. So Officer During is shown on that video going to the Milwaukee Fire Department, individuals that are on the scene, and he says, did you guys get this wallet? And they say, no, we didn't get it. No, we didn't get it. No, we didn't get it. Why is this important? Because it imputes notice to law enforcement. Notice is now imputed to the Milwaukee Police Department. And now that they know an item has been taken from Mr. Cleereman, it has been removed from the crime scene, at the very least, members of the jury, wouldn't you expect them to go ask Ms. Cleereman, well, why did you take the wallet?
No.
Why? Isn't Mr. Edgecomb entitled to at least understand why an item was removed from a crime scene in which the state is prosecuting him for murder? They don't even ask the simple question. And you heard testimony.
Because it's irrelevant.
From a retired Officer Burns who said that would have been standard protocol. To ask someone why something's removed from the scene. And that, members of the jury, is yet another reason why we go back to our board here, burden of proof, because it can't prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Too many questions unanswered. Too many questions never asked. Next slide. We have Miss Stephanie Trotter. She admitted, and she said that it was weird that Mrs. Cleereman was going inside of Mr. Cleereman's right pocket. And we just talked about, she admitted that when she pulled up, when the two vehicles on the red SUV, when they pulled side to side, in that 1 minute and 34-second video, she admitted that she was on the phone and she was saying, Anna. So she was indicating that she was on the phone with someone. Now, let's go back to the first point. Ms. Trotter testified. We know she was there. We seen her on video before the video cut off. We know she was there. This woman was there. We know that. She called 911. while Ms. Cleereman was by Mr. Cleereman while he lay there. Ms. Trotter was very specific when she told you one thing, members of the jury. She indicated that Ms. Cleereman was doing something with the right pocket of Mr. Cleereman. The right pocket. The right front pocket. That was her testimony. The right front pocket. That was her testimony. I didn't make this up. She came on this stand and she raised her right hand like everybody else did in this case. Members of the jury, what was found in that right pocket?
I think.
The Bowie knife was found in that right pocket. Let's discuss this issue. Let's just get it out the way right now. Are we saying that she put it in there, this and that? No, we don't know. We're saying we don't know. We don't know what she did with the right front pocket. I don't know if the wallet and the knife was in the same right front pocket. We don't know. They never even asked, when did you get the wallet?
Hey, type
The
something in
question
chat
was
for
never
me real quick,
asked.
BJ.
I don't know, my lady.
That's why we have reasonable doubt here.
Just type something real quick in
If all
chat.
the questions were asked, if we had the whole video, maybe we would have
There
more
we go.
information. So that maybe the state could get up this ladder to guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Doesn't have to be
It's not
anything
there.
big, just
Now,
a
the state
high.
just said something
Oh, me
in their
type?
opening.
Yeah,
They
type
said,
something in
well,
chat.
Mr. Edgecomb is saying he's seen something in his hand.
See,
That's
I
his
thought I had you
perception.
in here.
He believed he seen something at the time. Now, what you did see is Mr. Edgecomb come up on his stand and try to exaggerate the situation. He didn't try to say, oh yeah, it would be quite convenient for him to just come on the stand and say, oh yeah, I see the knife. Mr. Edgecomb didn't do that. He just said, I seen something. It happened so quickly because he had a big right step and then he lunged at me. So he couldn't really determine what was in his hand. That was his testimony. He also indicated that there was a second threat that he perceived, which was the vehicle. The same vehicle that hit him the first time, that knocked him on top of another vehicle, and where a racial slur was yelled out at him. The same vehicle that
Oh,
you
really?
saw,
Yeah,
members
there
of the
we go.
jury, almost hit him a second time. In the
Yeah.
body. Same vehicle. So at the time, Mr. Edgecomb's perception is these two threats. So he's not gonna exaggerate something just to make the story sound even grander. He has every reason to, because he's facing a very serious charge, but he took the same oath that every witness did. And he was advised, you don't exaggerate anything. You only tell the truth. So if you only believe that you've seen something, then that's simply what it is. We don't need to exaggerate anything. They still can't prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Next slide. Now, that kind of brings me to,
The end.
testimony that was provided
Anything?
by Ms. Cleereman when she said that they were out drinking. And I always mess this name up, so you guys gotta forgive me. It's Scaffides or Scaffides, it's one of the two.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
they were, wherever they were at that evening.
I don't even know the guy's
She
name.
had one glass of wine, and she indicated initially that Mr. Cleereman had 3 beers. That's what she testified to.
3 whole beers.
Once I brought out, based off of his size and weight, he's not a small guy. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. Not a small guy by any imagination. So when we
Yeah, 'cause he's
presented
like
the question
twice
to her,
your
we said, well,
size, B.I. Lamar.
it showed on his toxicology a blood alcohol level of 0.12. And we question now, 3 beers? Now this is Wisconsin.
Doesn't matter.
We know, if we know anything about anything, we know about beer. And
No, you
3
don't.
beers,
You don't know shit
a
about beer in
0.12?
Wisconsin.
So then she testified and said, oh, well, okay, maybe it was 4 beers. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe it was 4 beers.
He's
I
still
don't know.
dead.
The defense doesn't know. You know who else doesn't
1
know?
beer, 2 beers, a case of
state.
beers,
But their witness.
part of
Testify.
whiskey. I don't care. He's
That,
dead.
based off of that blood alcohol level,
This is
a
horrible.
guy with that weight, he agreed that 8 beers was more
Thank you,
consistent
buddy.
with the blood alcohol level of Mr. Cleereman. And that was at 240 pounds. The autopsy indicated that Mr. Cleereman was 250 pounds.
I'll find it. There we go.
Counsel, I lost track exactly which probably about 10, 15 minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next
Yeah,
slide.
it's like, please.
So then we go to Lorenzo Hernandez.
Get over your
The sign was the
shit.
canvas 4 blocks between Holton and Humboldt. He observed many video cameras going east on Brady Street, including two at Gloriosio's. They were all marked on the maps. This is diagonal to Dynamite. Evangelina said during her testimony, this is where the first incident occurred. He stated in testimony, he never was given a follow-up task as the investigation was turned over to the detective. Again, a lack of follow-up. Next slide. Dr. John Black. What John Black essentially, told us, he talked about selfies. And he talked about when you take a picture with a selfie and how, when you focus on the one object, it's only after you actually get the picture, and then you notice some of the other things that might not have been in your perception at that very moment. That's the same thing in this case. So when you're looking at the video evidence, understand that everything might not have been within Mr. Edgecomb's, perception at that moment. It was a heightened situation. It was, obviously it was an intense situation. So again, that's something for us to consider. Next slide. All right, next slide. All right, so that brings me to the next point. Mr. Edgecomb testified that he had 17 bullets, fully loaded. How many bullets were actually fired? 1. A cold-blooded killer that only takes 1 shot. He never shoots at the vehicle that struck him one time and almost struck him another. He never shoots when he could have punched, when he punched Mr. Cleereman. He doesn't shoot
But
then.
he shot to kill.
What kind of cold-blooded killer is that? Mr. Edgecomb testified that is after, you will see the step. The state said, he was just standing there and, Mr. Edgecomb just pulled out the gun and shot him. No. Let's go to the video. Let's scratch. Let's go straight to the fence. Was it 15?
So, what kind of cold-blooded killer is it? The same kind that would even pull out a knife and delete them and then just turn around and walk off like nothing ever happened. The same kind that would, toss the murder weapon somewhere, that would run and hide and try to avoid being caught by the police. That's the same kind of person who would do it. It only takes 1 bullet to delete somebody. That is the definition of a cold-blooded killer. Doesn't matter how many bullets they use. The definition is they did it in cold blood without any sort of remorse or regret for what they did, which is clearly what he did. Slide, slide, slippity slide. Reaches through the phone and slaps this idiot with a weighted newspaper.
Well deserved.
Yes.
D25.
Like, really, dude? This is so distracting. Like, you have no idea what you're going to do or say.
He's chaotic.
It's chaotic evil.
Members of the jury, this is the last time the defense will show you this video.
Oh, thank God. Because you've shown it, what, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 times already?
He hasn't convinced us to change our minds on the facts, though.
So he's guilty. There you go.
You have it on your own to deliberate. There's no doubt, members of the jury, at this very moment.
At this very moment, he could have easily. Now, you don't realize this because they don't ever talk about this, but he could have taken this ramp right here. Right here. There's a ramp right here. He could have taken this ramp that went down the backside of it.
And there's a wall, it looks like, between it.
Yeah, there's a wall that goes up over the bridge, and then this goes down to the street below. And then up here, where the jury is this thing is, there's a staircase right here, and that staircase leads down to the same spot that's down here.
Gotcha.
So if he was truly trying to get away, and I could be wrong on this, but this may be a ramp that goes down to behind the apartments here or something. But if I'm not mistaken, this is a ramp that goes down that whole thing and then connects back here. And then there's another street back here somewhere.
That makes sense. There was many opportunities and pathways for him to get out of harm's way, evade the situation, not pull a gun on a man who was retreating.
Yeah. Or it was advancing on him. Doesn't matter. Still didn't give him a right to do it.
See, we use that word, withdraw. Don't forget that word.
Which is something that your mother should have learned, or your father should have learned. Just saying.
Withdraw cancels out the first incident. It makes it first incident. Who cares what happened in the first incident at this point? It doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter. The second incident doesn't matter either because of the word withdraw. This video at this frame shows withdraw.
That's my suspicion also, is that he waited on him to get up there, had the gun off to his side, and knew exactly what he was going to do.
That's sticky.
I mean, it because for whatever reason he rode up to the guy, reaches through the window, punches him, jumps on his bike, and then takes off pedaling. Where he could have gone down this way, he could have gone down any other direction, but he got up here and then he stops at the top of these stairs, right where that little hand is, right there. That's where the top of the stairs at. He stops, and dude had jumped out somewhere around in here, and then ran up. And as he ran up, well, didn't run up, he started walking towards him, and it looked like he was trying to go down the stairs. He might have been hollering at him like, hey, you know, what the hell? And he waited until he got right up to him, and he pulled the firearm out and shot him dead. Right there. Boom. Down he went. Yeah, there was no lunge. It was him falling forward because his body stopped working.
Could we play console?
And see if they would just play the video through like it happened.
Stop right there.
See, here's where he gets out.
Mr. Edgecomb testified to the screeching tires that he heard. He testified to the heat from the motor that he felt on his back. He testified.
Screeching tires would require to leave some sort of mark on the ground. And I doubt this thing's tires will screech because it probably has anti-lock brakes, so it wouldn't screech.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Sound effects added in his head like they do in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Testified to just the loud noise and shouting coming from this vehicle.
Over the screeching tires.
Testified he was fearful at this very moment. Mr. Edgecomb didn't chase after them in the vehicle after he punched them, which he already admitted. He's not charged with simple battery. When you get that verdict form, battery is not going to be on there. If it was, Mr. Edgecomb would take responsibility for that. He admitted. Continue playing.
Oh, there he sits. There he moves. Goes to the stairs. Stops right there. Stops right there and looks at him. Now look how far away he is. Looks at him. This guy's, he's probably didn't even hear him. He just was like, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Jumped over to the stairs and then turns around and here this guy is. He wasn't expecting him to be following him. And about this time, he stops, waits, guy comes up, bop.
At this point?
Yeah, there he is. He stands around and just looks at him. Just watches him.
Stop. Back it up, please.
And this is where he just drops him.
And stop. Right there. That's the key frame of this case. You see that right step? That was the right step that Mr. Edgecomb described. He turned the corner, he made the right step, and he's lunging toward him.
No, he's
and when
not.
he heard the evidence, that's when the gunshot goes off after he lunged after me, Mr. Edgecomb's trying to describe the time that he believes makes his actions reasonable.
You sound panicked. You sounded very panicked there, B. Ivory.
Time of when the shot
Yeah, he
goes
felt
off.
the
That's
engine
important.
on his
Not
on his
there was some
butt.
accident. Oh no, it malfunctioned. No. This was the time that the shot goes off. This is what makes his actions reasonable. This is why this jury should find Mr. Edgecomb not guilty because of self-defense in this case. Same plan.
But there was no self-defense.
No.
All right, stop that video, close it out. Now,
Dude.
Mr. Edgecomb has testified that he goes down these stairs, he goes home, you don't see him for 6 months. Now the state is going to argue, oh, that's consciousness of guilt. Remember in voir dire, Attorney Ahmad, he came up to the podium and he asked the question to you. He said, how many of you believe that only guilty people run?
Exactly, Debbie.
Remember that question?
That
Only
is so
guilty people
true.
run. None of you raised your hands. And then the next question that Mr. Attorney Ahmad raised,
My attorney of mine.
what other reasons might there be that someone would run? In that jury room, there were several different people. They said, well, somebody could be scared. Somebody could be fearful of their life. Somebody could, especially as an African-American man, like we still have issues in this country. I mean, listen, we talked about the cases. He talked about, he believed he was hunted down like a mud Aubrey. He talked about the
Don't choke.
We have issues in this country as black men. Really. I think we just have issues in this country as human beings.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, like as human beings, you know, men, women, you know, that's why I get so aggravated whenever people are just like, oh, the amount of, you know, the whole manosphere thing where it's just like men are treated so horribly. It's like, yeah, men are treated like crap, and that's part of being a man, and get fuck over it kind of thing. You know, grow up, be a man.
It's
Sucks.
humanity.
Yeah.
We're all treated terribly at certain times and situations and in certain categories. And
Yeah.
you either build character and you get strong and you deal with it, or you spend
Play victim.
hours and tons of money trying to get away with murder instead of taking responsibility for yourself.
Yeah. And not even your money. Somebody
Yeah.
else's money.
Yeah. Oh, but of course, never your own money. Put the
Yeah,
bill
why
on
would you
someone
do
else.
that? Yeah, why would you do that?
The pattern of not being responsible for yourself.
Yep.
George Floyd and being taken into custody in an unfortunate situation happens like Sandra Bland. He talked about that in his testimony. We still
George Floyd put himself in a situation that got him killed.
100%.
Do I think the cop was right for the way he handled it? Absolutely not.
No.
But George Floyd put himself in a situation that got him killed.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor put herself in a situation that got her killed. Do I think it was right? No. But she put herself in a situation by the people that she was associating with. And that got her killed. Ahmaud Arbery put himself in a situation that got him killed. Was it right that he was chased down by a couple of like dumbasses? Absolutely not. I'm just saying, at a lot of these different points in time, you have that option to not put yourself in that position, and you won't have that problem. At any point in time, the guy that got himself killed here could have turned around, walked away. He put himself in a situation that got him killed.
Yeah.
And look what happened with Ahmaud Arbery. Those guys were convicted.
I'm not familiar with that case in particular, but it's consequences for your actions.
Ahmaud Arbery was a black gentleman that was breaking into a house.
Okay.
He went on a mile, was it 20 miles from his home on a jog in a neighborhood where
Okay.
they had multiple robberies, was on a house that was being constructed. They have it on videotape, him being there. And then they basically knew that there was somebody that had been coming in and stealing shit.
Okay.
And so one of them was an ex-cop, and they basically chased him down. One of them had a shotgun, and they struggled over the shotgun, and in the process of it, Ahmaud Arbery got killed. All right?
Gotcha.
There was a struggle. It could have easily been considered self-defense. The jury didn't see it that way, and those guys, all three of them, although there was only one shooter, all three of them went to prison for the same crime. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, if
It
you
sucks,
are,
but it happens.
yeah, if you are in the party creating, like, what is the correct terminology for it? But basically, if someone is murdered during the commission of a crime, that's a felony, and you were involved in any way, you are just as culpable. That's getaway drivers go away from murder too. Like, if you're part of the team, it's. I mean, I equate it back to playing sports in high school. If you're a part of the team, if one of you's late, you're all running laps. You're all getting punished together.
Yes.
The consequences for action. That is what, that's my trigger word. People unable to take responsibility for the consequences of their actions.
Yes. And it's guilty by association.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying that that homie was right for running up on the guy. Would I have done it? No, probably not.
Oh.
Of course, I probably would have run him down with my car personally. That's just me. But here's the thing: in the state of Georgia, if someone attacks you in your car, it is no different than the castle doctrine. I don't know how it is there.
Yep.
So
100%.
if I'm in my car and someone tries to carjack me, that would be a really bad idea. And that's why I have not seen anybody here doing the shenanigans that you see in other states where they sit like on the freeway and stuff like that. You would have to be blatantly stupid and ridiculous to do something like that here. With the whole protesting whatever stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You tried doing that stuff here in Georgia. Mm-hmm. You do not know who is going to run you down. You're not stopping traffic. It will just keep going.
In Arizona, I don't think there were border patrol there. It was one.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
They ran through them. I was like, exactly. Thank you for standing up for our citizens and not letting a small group of people irregulate our entire day in life. Like, no.
Yeah. Well, and the cop, because the cop came up and he was just like, listen, you need to move this stuff. And they were just like, screw you. Another cop just hit the thing, pushed it out of the way. Then they proceeded to arrest all of them, handcuff them. And, just like, yeah, we're not playing. You think this is funny? It's like you're backing up traffic for miles and miles and miles. You think and what you're trying to protest is not sitting clear. We will, yeah.
Still have work to do. Now, the state, he also testified that he set up a GoFundMe account. That there was a GoFundMe account set up. And that he was trying to get a lawyer. They said, well, couldn't you just call one of your lawyers? Just because you have a lawyer on one matter, this is common sense. Use your common sense. Just because you have a lawyer on one matter does not impute an obligation for them to accept you on another matter.
Doesn't matter.
That's just common sense.
You had access to
He called lawyers. They told him $50,000 to $140,000. That was the testimony in this case. So just having a lawyer available doesn't mean you have the resources to get one. He was scared. He talked about that fear. So the consciousness of guilt stuff, that's a distraction. That's simply a distraction. He's not charged with, just running.
It's, under any other circumstance, chat, I would be sitting there going, yeah, this is, you missed Sheriff Joe from Arizona. Yeah. Under any other circumstance, this guy would be making good, valid points, and you would have the prosecutor stopping him from the bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. But he knows that all the crap that B. Ivory Lamar is saying, it makes it sound, he's making his argument for him. He doesn't have to argue this stuff because B. Ivory Lamar is making his points for him. B. Ivory Lamar is just too ignorant to know that he is.
He's charged in this case with murder. If you want to charge him with battery, go ahead. You want to charge him with obstruction or whatever you feel like the appropriate charge is for not being available or turning yourself in for 6 months, do so. It's not murder. You got video evidence to make that decision on. Thank God for video. Look where Mr. Edgecomb is when there is video. He's still sitting here. That's why he's so nervous on this stand. He thought that the video itself should be enough. You see it with officers all the time. I thought it was a gun. It turned out to be a cell phone. But we understand it was reasonable fear. Oh, he looked like he was reaching for something. It's the same law. It's reasonable. It's still the perception that Mr. Edgecomb had. Now I'm gonna wrap this up.
Oh, please do, because we're sick of hearing you shit come out of your mouth.
Frederick Douglass once said,
"Oh, Jesus."
He said, "In a composite nation like ours, as before the law, there should be no rich, no poor, no high, no low. No white, no black, but common country, common citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny. And here we are, members of the jury, still embarked on that destiny. Mr. Edgecomb has accepted responsibility for his actions. We told you, he wasn't supposed to.
Well, if he has, then why didn't he plead guilty?
He took responsibility so that you guys wouldn't have to start.
So why didn't he plead guilty to deleting this guy? Oh my God, is he running for office or what? No, he's a race grifter. This is how race grifters talk. That's what the Ivory Lamar is. He's a race grifter. He thought that Kyle Rittenhouse should be in jail for shooting, 4 black men in Kenosha. That was his. He was on CNN, ABC, CBS, he was all over the news.
Start your year off, have him decide something that he needs to take responsibility for. He punched the guy. If he got charged with that, you're right. He should be charged with simple battery. He fled for 6 months. He provided his explanation for it. It wasn't because of what you've seen in that video. Any reasonable person would be fearful under those circumstances. Those are all true. But ladies and gentlemen of the jury, those are not charges that Mr. Edgecomb is facing. The charges that's going to be on the form that you're given is going to be murder. And a whole different multitude of degrees of murder. And you got to go through that. That's what's on your verdict form. And that's why you need to find him not guilty, because they have not proven this case. Mr. Edgecomb is no murderer. He's a very soft-spoken, scared individual. Members of the jury, I want you to look at Mr. Edgecomb.
Look at him.
Objection, Your Honor.
Oh, very cool.
Well, let's wrap this up. We're at about an hour and a half. The jury's had plenty of time to look at the defendant. Let's just finish with a couple of sentences or whatever, counsel, and let's be done, okay? Please.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Edgecomb is no murderer.
Yes, Judge Simpson is
What he is,
awesome.
he's a survivor.
We may pull that up.
He's a man who's already taken responsibility for any wrongs related to this incident. But today you decide, is he an imperfect person? The answer is yes, he's imperfect. But is he a violent, heartless, cold-blooded murderer? Absolutely not. Members of the jury, as the great Willie Gary often said, you have the power. You have the power, members of the jury. You can see wrong, and you can make it right. You can see suffering, and you can stop it. Members of the jury, Attorney Huebner is going to come again, another great attorney. He's going to talk about the rest of his arguments. Use your common sense. You didn't check it in when you came in this building. Use your common sense.
Yeah, I don't need to spend an hour and a half.
Applying the law to the facts,
Yeah,
there will be only one just verdict in this case on all counts that have been on that verdict form. And that verdict, members of the jury, is not guilty. Thank you.
Oh, thank God that guy is over.
Literally.
Okay,
Could
let's
you
see.
imagine him having to work with him and deal with him, practicing those speeches?
Could you imagine being his paralegal and getting thrown out of court because you approached a witness claiming that you were with the police department? Could you imagine that your paralegal going on break and screenshotting something from Facebook and trying to use it as evidence while on break?
I saw that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people are scummy. They're what they call ambulance chasers. Yeah. He's got a little bit over 12 minutes of this that he's going to be doing. Then they're going to go deliberate, and then they're going to come back and they're just going to, give a verdict here. I mean, here we go.
Thank you, counsel. You can just move that exhibit, please, and let's take and do rebuttal.
Yeah, move your piece of board out of there.
Ladies and gentlemen, defense counsel stated that the state has not met its burden of proof. And then they didn't mention a single element. Not one of the legal requirements you have to take a look at here. Not one of them. We showed and proved that the defendant caused the death of the victim. We showed he did so with intent to kill. And defense counsel stated, oh, well, he's not a cold-blooded killer because why didn't he shoot 17 times? That's not the law. The law is whether or not he shot with intent to kill or practically certain to cause death. He took a gun that he's trained on, that he knows what will happen. He points it at the head of another individual, ladies and gentlemen, and he pulls the trigger and he puts a bullet in the victim's head. He says he's not a killer. He killed someone. That's what this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, Rekieta Cameron didn't say he was a cold-blooded killer. What he said was what the defendant did was cold-blooded. He didn't mention during any time about the defendant looking shocked or looking scared or any of that. Not when he's talking to the police. Ladies and gentlemen, when he was talking to the police in that 911 call, what was he doing? Begging the 911 caller to do. Get here. He's still here. He's still here. You can find him. He's got to go. He just shot him in the head. He was begging the police to find that man, the defendant. Rekieta Cameron wasn't saying, oh my God, that guy looked really scared. You better go try to find him and make sure he's okay. He's saying, find him. I'm a person that just saw a man's head get blown off in front of me, and I want the person who did so found and caught. And he couldn't because he ran. And then he ditched the weapon. And ladies and gentlemen, we talked about a lot of things in voir dire. One thing we didn't talk, that defense counsel didn't mention, was that we also mentioned that your verdict has to be based on this case and this case alone.
Nice.
The defense, with the way they present their arguments, is like a Chicago Bears fan talking about a quarterback. They'll talk about anything else. They'll talk about running backs or the 85 Bears defense, but they won't talk about what you're actually talking about because they don't have an argument. We bring up other cases. We bring up all sorts of other things. We bring up other things that have happened outside in some other place. Let's talk about here. Let's talk about what he did. Some injustice that you may feel that happened in some other case does not excuse or allow or invite an injustice in this case. What the defendant did was homicide. All of the elements have been proven. It was not self-defense. Ladies and gentlemen, even if, yes, withdrawal and he provokes, that doesn't mean he then is automatically in self-defense. A man comes up with no weapon in his hands, and ladies and gentlemen, be absolutely clear about that. This leaves just a few specks. The weapon, the knife, has no blood on it. No one says that knife is out. Not one single person says this is out. Defense counsel spent 35 minutes talking about a knife that's in a pocket that nobody sees come out. And says that is what makes it self-defense. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at what defense counsel is saying. Your Honor, could you give me evidence control quick? Ladies and gentlemen, defense counsel is saying that the defendant was acting in self-defense because someone approached him, someone engaged in his personal space, someone had their fists up, someone had a weapon that nobody sees. Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute and 26 seconds into this, all of those things apply to the defendant. He's got a firearm that nobody sees. He's engaged and invaded Jason Cleereman's space. He pulls his hand back. He's engaged in violence. He has violence intent in his heart. He's going to punch him. And if Jason Cleereman shot and killed the defendant right then and there, oh my God, would there be a different sort of circumstances and arguments coming from the defendant. It'd be a different super team of lawyers. I'd still probably have to run all their equipment for them, but it'd be a whole different thing. You know what wouldn't change? Your verdict.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I probably still have to run all their equipment for them, but it'd be a different story.
Oh boy.
Oh God. Oh, I love the Bears reference. Oh God. This prosecutor is so.
Your verdict wouldn't change. Because at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, it's not self-defense. Bringing the identities and characters of who people are in an attempt to influence your verdict just goes to show you don't have an argument. If Jason Cleereman had shot and killed the defendant at that point, I would be here arguing the same thing, that he is guilty and the defendant is guilty. There was no weapon. There was no imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. He started a fist fight, and then he ended it with a bullet. And I am just glad that finally at the end of this, the defense is willing to admit that the victim's wife loved him. Because for 2 or 3 days we were hearing about purportedly loves, and why didn't she do CPR, and oh my God, how cold she is. And oh, why didn't she get the wallet? She told the officers right at the beginning. It's on the body cam. She was asked on the stand. She got the wallet. The knife never came out. The defendant shot and killed a man with his hands up, worst case scenario, in a situation in which Jeffrey Parr states he shoots an unarmed man, in which Jose Perez states he shoots an unarmed man, in which Rodrigo Cameron states he shoots an unarmed man, in which the video shows he states and it shows that he shot an unarmed man, in which Evangelina Cleereman states that he shot an unarmed man. And keep in mind, defense counsel stated that she heard the defendant give a warning. No one hears that. Not one person. Not one person hears any of what the defense counsel is trying to say the defendant heard. Nobody hears it. Because it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. He started a fight, and then he killed the man. Every portion and escalation of violence came from the defendant. Words, I'm gonna punch you. You wanna punch me? I'm gonna shoot you. And ladies and gentlemen, when you go through all of the elements like I went through with you and the defense avoided, you find that he's guilty. Negligence out. But I do think you should at least keep in mind one thing. Defense counsel spent about a half an hour trying to explain away his own client's words. The defendant could not have been more clear.
Wiggle, wiggle.
He says the gun is pointed down. He states that the victim is lunging at his gun, by the way, or about to spear him, and the gun goes off. That's his words. Not, I shot in self-defense, not, I was trying to keep him away. I stepped back and the gun goes off. That is what he said. And defense counsel spent half an hour trying to make it seem that that's not what his client said. That is what his clients said. Because when that last-ditch effort by the defendant doesn't work, now the defense counsel's got to try Plan Z. Running didn't work, ditching the gun didn't work, lying to Kentucky didn't work, lying to MPD didn't work, lying to you didn't work, and now we got a whole nother plan. This case is what happened right then and there. And on that video, there was not a lunge. There was a step. Retro Cameron says he has his hands up. Other people didn't see it. But regardless of it, the worst case scenario is a person who got punched was getting ready to punch back. And the defendant shot him. That is first degree intentional. If you think he actually believed that there was a threat of death or great bodily harm, because that's what he has to believe, then it's second degree intentional, because there's no way that's reasonable. If you think that maybe shooting only once somehow is not intent to kill, even though he's a trained weapons guy who's got a gun and at close range puts one into someone's brain, then it's first degree reckless. If there's utter disregard for human life, if there's not, it's second degree reckless homicide. Everything defense counsel just went through in terms of their arguments does not get you to not guilty. It's just a matter of which one of the homicides he's guilty of. Because there was not a valid self-defense claim here. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go through it, and you go through everything, regardless of whether or not
Yes.
they went and found something at Glorioso's, and keep in mind, defense counsel made a big deal of all this video, only to find out, and not mention at all in their closing for some reason, that the defendant says it's even further eastbound than that. Who cares about the swerve on video? It wouldn't have changed what happened when the defendant pulls a gun and shoots the victim. And their whole point for why that matters is Ricky Burns. Keep in mind, you are taking and hearing someone criticize an investigation in which they are doing everything they can, and he and they cherry-pick the evidence, cherry-pick the result, and Ricky Burns never asked for anything more. There were reports he didn't see and didn't even care to see. Why? Because they didn't want him to see him, because it didn't help what they wanted him to say. Talk about showing everything. They didn't. We called all the witnesses. You've heard all of the case. This is about this case and nothing more. And the simple fact that anybody tries to draw your attention to something else goes to show that they know they can't win when it comes to the elements and the facts in this case. He's guilty, ladies and gentlemen. The facts are clear. The law is clear. He's guilty. Your verdict is clear.
Oof.
And do you have the jury verdict?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And it looks like, oh, there are some questions from the jurors.
You can call it.
It's like 9 minutes.
Theodore Edgecomb, 20 CF 3535, appearances.
Grand jury for the state.
Theodore Edgecomb appearing by attorney Nick Ahmad on behalf of Lamar.
It's here on a jury question. A while ago, the jury sent out via the foreperson, who's juror 4. The question, it says, "Hi, Judge, can we see the enhanced video when the shooting actually occurred?" Per the jurors. I'll hear from both sides. Mr. Huebner.
I believe they're requesting the enhanced video that was shown by the defense. I mean, there were 2 that were shown, but I think they're referring to just the last one.
Let's presume for the moment that that's what they're requesting. What's your position on that?
I have no problem with them watching it. They will watch it.
Like, well, it's not going to change it.
Any objection to that?
No objection.
All right, I'll have the defense cue it up. As neither side's objecting, I'll allow that. I will say, however, that it's not going to be played repeatedly for the jury. This isn't.
Case law can be played once.
The case law, that's also my rule, because otherwise it turns into a trial over a video. There was at least 6 people, 4 potentially or arguably independent witnesses, all of whom testified. The defendant testified. Mrs. Cleereman testified. That's 6 people that were at the incident or near the incident that saw what occurred. So if there's a case out there, great, but that's certainly my rule. These cases are not going to be situations in this or any case where I'm going to repeatedly play or allow a video to be played repeatedly for the jury while they're deliberating. This video and other unenhanced video was played, I can't even count how many times during this trial. I said multiple times, it was cumulative. Both sides belabored it too much. That's not going to occur. It'll be played once. Counsel can make a record on the exhibit number and how long it is. I think it's a minute or a minute 35 or something like that. It's played start to finish. No commentary from anybody, including the court, and then it will be told to continue to deliberate. Mr. Ahmad, what juror number is it? Sorry, exhibit number.
D25, it's 1 minute and 49 seconds long, and I think, Judge, the jury can be told if they want to look at the monitor and get out of their seats, they can.
Well, I don't want them parading around, but I'll move the monitor closer to them, the one monitor, or I'll have Mr. Huebner do it. So, since both sides are stipulating, if you can cue that up, counsel, I'll have my bailiff in a minute, go and get the jury in about 2 minutes. When you get that queued up, 2-minute recess.
For the jury, obviously it's a grainy video.
Look at his hands shaking.
Go ahead.
We just want to request.
Holy crap. Does he need a drink? I mean, his hands are shaking, like visibly shaking.
We're on the record. Everybody use the mic, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, we just want to request that the TV be placed closer to the jury box. We also want to put on the record, we understand that the court is inclined to show the video once. Obviously, this is a grainy video. The moment in which they're requesting happens very quickly. So we understand the court's position to show it once. We will do one like to preserve our objection as to the amount of times that the video be shown, and also request that the TV be moved closer so that the jurors can at least appreciate what they're seeing. We would like to preserve the objection as to the amount of times that the video be shown. This video, the incident in which the jury is requesting, happens quickly, and we believe that the jury should be able to see the video evidence as many times as necessary. In addition of that, we would also request that the TV screen be moved closer to the jury box to ensure that all jurors have the same appreciation of being able to see the video. Thank you.
Mr. Huebner, be brief, please.
Well, first of all,
Somebody, if you guys don't use the mic,
Judge,
seriously,
really close
I'm
to the
going to
mic.
stick around both you guys, really.
That's okay. Judge, I guess I can move the computer, but I have to be able to see also what's being shown here. I moved it. This is the closest it's ever been to the jury.
Right. If it gets much closer, then some jurors are going to have a very bad angle. You can move it another foot or two closer. It's probably 8 to 10 feet from the front of the jury box. It's
We're going to run out of these two.
right. Fine. It's fine where it is. It's direct. Hang on.
We're not able to see the video. Attorney Huebner is stating his positioning to be able to see it, but we're
I'm
not.
assuming it's going to be on both screens.
Okay.
You've got the best angle.
We don't have the same view of the jury, but I just want to put it on record.
If you let me run it, then I got no problem, because then I can see it.
Okay, enough. The defense is running it. It's on the screen in front of the defense. It can be on the screen behind the defense, which you're 2 feet away from. The jury, it'll be in front of the jury. I'm playing it once, period. The jury's going to hear it's being played once, start to finish. No commentary, no stopping, nothing.
He's over by the wall.
Stand to see, yes.
Yep.
And if the defense wants to move and stand next to Mr. Hubner and you guys all want to be buddies to watch this, that's just great. Let's bring the jury in.
He's so frustrated with these two.
All right, the jury's coming in. Remain seated, please.
Yeah. I thought you said that. Then I saw it was. I thought you said that. I heard sorry. I thought you had said sorry, but it was up on the screen. I was just like, how did she do that? That's like. I was like, oh no, that was somebody else. I think that was like the court reporter or something.
All right, the jury's back in the box. I received your question from the four-person juror 4. The lawyers have queued up the video. It's the enhanced video that was a defense exhibit. It is going to be played. It is going to be played one time. No one is going to comment on it. It's going to be played start to finish. Then we're done, and you go back to continue to deliberate. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just rough.
That was it, correct, gentlemen? Yes. All right, if you can all retire to the jury room and continue deliberations. Thank you.
There we go. That was
We're off the record. We're in recess. It's 3:45.
All they had. And here we go. Yeah, the next.
Clerk, can you call it again? We can take the verdict.
State of Wisconsin versus Theodore Edgecomb, 20 CF 3535. Appearances.
Grant Hubner for the state.
Theodore Edgecomb appearing by attorney Nick Ahmad.
Diabri Lamar.
As the lawyers are aware, for the record, it's 4:50. About half an hour ago, approximately, the jury indicated that they've reached a verdict. At approximately 3:45, so maybe 20 minutes to half an hour before that, based on a stipulation of the parties, the court played a video once for the jury. It was a defense exhibit. They went back to continue to deliberate, and about half an hour after viewing the video, they reached a verdict. I gave both sides time to assemble, including the Cleereman family and others. I'm going to bring the jury in. I will read the verdict.
Half an hour after
It's
they
my
watch that
practice that
video.
I read the verdict. I will make sure the verdict's in appropriate form before I read it. When I read the verdict, I expect silence in the gallery. No matter what side you're on, I understand this is an emotional case. I understand that people are excited and charged up maybe. I would expect everybody to behave appropriately in a courtroom. That means no outbursts, no screaming, no standing up, no stomping your feet, no celebrating, nothing. I will read the verdict. Depending on what the verdict is, I will poll the jury and then most likely discharge the jury. I expect everybody to behave. I'll bring the jury in. Again, as has been in practice during this entire trial, the defendant's in court, he's in custody, he's in street clothes, so everybody can remain seated. I'll have the jury brought in.
Just like, I don't know if you're watching, but she's over there leaning into him. He's got that look of like, I am so screwed, like, and of course he tries to give him like this, you got this. It's like, yeah, you gotta be in there whenever they're splitting me open like a can. You gotta be there in prison with me. Just watch the reaction between these two. Stand
They
strong,
do
man.
look very like, we're fucked.
You got this. I got you. Race pimp.
Fucking shrunk shoulders, ill-fitting suit.
Yep.
All right, the jury's coming in. Everybody can remain seated, please.
It's not a zing, that's a poop. Oh. I wonder if he
Well,
even
ladies and
knows
gentlemen,
how
it's my
much of
understanding
it
you've reached the verdict. Is that
sucks.
correct?
Yes.
And you're the foreperson, ma'am?
Yes.
You're juror number 4, is that correct? Can you hand the paperwork to my bailiff, please?
He's telling Lamar where to go under that mask. Yeah. Like, you can just F off. You're not the one that's going to have to deal with the booty guns.
All right, it appears to me that the verdict's in appropriate form. It's been completed. I'm going to read the verdict. Again, I would ask that there not be any overt reactions. We, the jury, find the defendant, Theodore Edgecomb, guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, a lesser-included offense of count 1 of the information. Based on that, the jury was requested and asked to answer a second question. Did the defendant commit the offense of first-degree reckless homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer, yes. It's signed today by the foreperson who's juror number 4. Based on that verdict, everybody, I'm going to poll the jury. I'm going to start with the foreperson, move to my right, then start in the back row in the left, and move to my right again. Ma'am, was this and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, was this and is this your verdict?
2 women.
Me? Yes.
Sir, was this and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Starting in the back, my left. Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this was and is your verdict, is that right?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, again, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
And last but not least, ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
All right, I've polled the jury. The jury has confirmed
Wow.
their verdict.
No, it was
guilty of first-degree
black
reckless
women.
homicide, a lesser-included
I thought
offense
it was-
of count 1 of the information.
Wow.
I will ask the foreperson, ma'am, I presume, based on this verdict, that you left the other verdict forms blank. Is that correct, ma'am?
I did.
Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to thank you on my behalf, first of all, and also on behalf of the parties. I said previously, more than once this week,
Record.
I'm granting the state's request, I'm denying the defense request, I'm entering a judgment of conviction on the verdict of guilty of first-degree reckless homicide while using a dangerous weapon. I'm ordering a judgment of conviction against the defendant. The defendant will be remanded for sentencing. We can discuss sentencing on this. I'll ask the defense if you want a PSI, a pre-sentence investigation done either by the
Well, I mean, the trial I have is in Judge Watts' court.
We're adjourned for today.
Yeah.
We're going off the record.
Here's where
Thank
they
you,
go
everyone.
off. Very end of it. Oh, they've already sentenced him. Yeah, they're holding back until they. See how far away he stood from him? And he walked all the way around. B. Iverly Ramar, nowhere near him. Now he comes over. Now waiting for the courtroom to clear out. Puts on his expensive suit jacket. They had to wait for the courtroom to clear out. So there was the sentencing trial.
Got to knowing him.
Discrepancies that the car pulls over. Ex-girlfriend, he decides to drive by the house and shoot and kill him, which the defendant was found guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah. The sentencing trial was just victim impact statements. I don't want to watch that for an hour and a half. No.
Consecutive to any other sentence. Slug.
You see where B. Ivory Lamar is? See B. Ivory Lamar there anywhere?
And for anyone that doubts that, within the last 10 days, I had a case that was very, very similar, where a defendant alleged self-testified truthfully. So the state's recommendation in this case is on the low end of what would be recommended in a homicide similar to this. That's just reality.
Yeah. Fuck me. Fuck me.
Hi, beautiful.
The one thing the state did not discuss is obviously there was the aspect of provocation in this case.
Buffers.
Mr. Edgecomb, I don't know what was going through your head.
Buffers.
Whatever happened initially, and I don't believe the testimony or the implication that you were hit by the Cleereman's car and you rolled up on their side of the car or the front of the car. That's not plausible because your bike was not damaged. You weren't injured. There was no visible damage to the car. That's not plausible. But whatever did occur, for you to be so hot under the collar that rather than ignore it or drive by and handle it in some other fashion, you slug through a window and do significant damage to the victim, punching him in the face and in the eye and knocking his glasses off, causing abrasions and cuts. I can't imagine what was going through your head and why you thought that was an appropriate way to respond to whatever happened initially that was not caught on camera. And then again, ultimately, Mr. Edgecomb, there was no need whatsoever, even if, and yes, Mr. Cleereman was striding towards you, for you to pull a gun and within a matter of a couple of seconds, put a bullet in his skull. I apologize if that's a very candid description of what occurred, but that's what occurred.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm sentencing the defendant as follows, largely following the state's recommendation: 25 years of initial confinement, 12 years of extended supervision. That's on count 1. That is the absolute minimum required to punish the defendant, to incarcerate him, to send a deterrent message to this community. 25 years of initial confinement, 12 years of extended supervision.
Damn.
This was a homicide. That sentence is consecutive to the end of the case, consecutive to any other sentence.
Oh.
And count 2, which is the bail jumping, I'm sentencing the defendant to a total of 4 years, 2 years of initial confinement, 2 years of extended supervision. That sentence is concurrent to count 1, concurrent to count 3, and concurrent to any other sentence. In count 3, which is the misdemeanor bail jumping, I'm sentencing the defendant to 6 months in the House of Corrections or in jail. That sentence is concurrent to count 2 and concurrent to count 1. It's the court's specific intent that the defendant serves 25 years of initial confinement, 12 years of extended supervision. In this case, the defendant is not eligible for the challenge incarceration program, not eligible for the substance abuse program. The defendant will be provided a written explanation of the determinant sentence. While in the institution, I'm authorizing up to the maximum amount be taken out of the defendant's in custody earnings, wages, funds, or monies of any sort. I'm granting the state's request for restitution, which was stipulated to. The restitution amount is $4,840. The restitution is to be paid.
That was all his life was worth to him.
That's insane.
Yeah. Just better not eat that candy bar laying on his bed. Yeah, that's just. And he'll be out in what, 5, 6 years?
You think?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are in Michigan, but it might be a certain percentage of his sentence that he has to serve, and then they'll let him out, and then the rest of it he'll basically be serving on probation. So, he's 25 years plus 12 years on probation, so you're looking at 30, 40 years, that he's going to be in the custody of the state. So he'll be monitored after he gets out, but chances are of him recommitting, who knows?
I'd say
no.
hi.
No, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I got no idea. It's not going to be easy for him to get out, though, because a lot of shit's going to change by the time he gets out. Think about what happened 10 years ago in your life. Think about where you are compared to where you were 10 years ago. Now think about where you were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot happens in that amount of time. His children will all be grown up. Even the youngest one will be an adult by the time that he's getting out of prison. He'll be an old man. I mean, if he's 30 now, he'll be 50.
Yeah. Completely different world he'll come back to if he gets out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get back into the life, into the groove, into all of it. I'm not, I was pulling up the Rekieta stuff, and I'm just sort of hurts,
Yeah. It's heavy. It's heavy, and I'm sure for you and somebody else feels much more personal having you know, a similar, like you said, you were inspired for your channel by him, and so was Baker, and like the lives he's touched and having that relationship, you can't take it lightly when you see someone you care about struggling.
No, not at all. And I mean, this is what Tug was saying, which was really well said. Said Nick Rekieta's been arrested. Like I said yesterday, he's crashing. People will cheerlead you to the bottom.
Yeah.
I hope he gets his shit sorted and his kids, one, safe, and two, this doesn't impact on him having them. He needs rehab and help. Plenty of people will. So this right here, this Amolte, April Diane Amolte, she was the one that used to work on another podcast, or was married to another podcaster.
Gotcha.
They were under some sort of separation, and apparently some people have claimed that she was giving him a Hummer on stream.
I mean, I saw a stream where it looked like something was going on for sure.
Well,
can't speculate, but
his wife into signing NDAs that are ironclad, and then he needs to do a JF.
Yeah, Ash, I clicked
And then
that
he can
share.
continue.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna unlink. We're gonna unlink this.
But then what does he do with the 5 kids after he gets rid of their mom?
I'll see you.
JF style.
Let's see.
We shall.
Okay, ready? I'm
But I will see
enhancing
you guys
the audio
tomorrow
of
morning.
April. You ready?
I will be streaming tomorrow morning.
I want to see the baby goats.
Woo! Okay, even higher. Everyone, you ready? 30.
Whoa.
Enhance. 30. Enhance, bitch. Why?
What are they enhancing?
I can only 15 it. Don't worry, Ashton. Hold all.
The audio.
Double up the sound. You ready?
All right,
Here we go. Here we go.
The sniff.
And the stop.
The sniff. And she goes, stop.
Look.
So I did. It's over.
It's April.
Oh, it's her. That's
And this is what Tug was talking about. People celebrating the downfall. Like,
I understand the excitement of feeling like you're solving a problem. You know, they just made these changes. Oh, they're hearing what they're hearing. Like when you feel like you've cracked a case, it's exciting. The fiber on the ultrasound, very exciting. But I feel like there's such a distinct difference when Rekieta is a comrade, a friend. He's another one here who's struggling in addiction ways. And then when you have that's not something you mock or make fun of. That's not how you support someone you care about. Someone who's been malicious like RJ and Doe, that's more like I find acceptable to make fun of, because when you're maliciously attacking someone, you open the door for me to find laughter in your aggression.
right.
But for someone who is just truly suffering and just, I mean, vulnerably so, putting it out there in all those ways, those aren't the people we should be focusing on or deep diving into publicly, nonetheless, as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I mean, it was like a celebration for them. I mean, I understand them, maybe being like, well, holy crap, what, that's crazy. But it's almost like they're celebrating the downfall. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to watch them. I don't care about them. I mean, they lost any sort of goodwill that I would have towards them, because we're all, how do they say it? We all fall short of the glory of God. It's there's I guess it just makes them feel better whenever they shit on somebody or to see somebody go down.
Yeah. When you focus on the shit in other people's lives, it gives you a reprieve from focusing on your own shit. But when you do it in that capacity, you probably should be healing some of your own shit.
Yeah, this is
Night Puddle Town.
Night Puddle Town. You get some rest. Yes, I'll see you guys. Yeah, that's I as much as I really want to talk about some of this stuff, it's really hard to because there's just I just hate seeing this kind of crap happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just too many people that are celebrating it. And
what's to celebrate? I celebrate when my friends get sober. I celebrate when my friends like make achievements and milestones or get past difficult situations. But to celebrate their downfall, to celebrate like, yeah, I'm so glad you crashed your car and burnt your house down. We don't.
Yeah.
It's icky, man. We need to do better.
It is. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it, and I don't have enough information on what all went down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm reading some of the people that are like, Nick is my friend. This is so hard to see. A lot of us have been concerned and trying to get help for him for a while now. I hope this all gets resolved and he and his family are able to heal. For real troubled by this man. Oh man, I hoped it wasn't true. When I get off work, I'll see what more info I can find. Every LawTube chat I'm in is going to be getting trolled. I hope his kids are with family. So sad. Is this for real? The person on the bottom of the pic is the co-host of Steel Toe. I have seen this pic before, and isn't that the gal from Steel Toe on the bottom? I know you looked bad, but really, this is us. Heartbroken, but we're here in support, whatever it takes. Another one that's just got a sad emoji. I called this 1.5 years ago and stopped listening to him. This happened faster and worse than I expected it to. Jesus, those charges explained a lot of his state cause. That wasn't just beer he was on. That Schedule 1 is the most disturbing to me. That category includes heroin. Schedule 2, fentanyl and coke. That's terrifying. No. Damn. Suffice to say, I'm glad I only ever drink when I go out to dinner, and even then I just drink a single bottle of beer. Praying for his family, very sad. Feel genuinely sad for this. Hope Rekieta gets well. This shit hurts. I'm praying for his redemption and return to form to be quick. Holy shit, man, this is so sad. Please come say some real prayers for him and his family. Nick is one of the guys that made me want to be a YouTuber. Seeing this really hurts. I just hate this for his wife, his kids, and him. Looks like his wife got the same charges right above him. This is very sad. I mean, it's just like the amount of people that are reaching out. It's just some people don't believe it's real. Just a lot of people are watching him go down. And and there's so many that are just like, haha. It's like, I don't know. It looks like it's just wow. Just wow. I don't know. Just so much to see. So much to see. I can't. I just don't want to. I just don't want to watch it because it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably need to digest this a little bit tonight before I talk about it anymore. I don't know. I don't have enough information on it, and to me, it looks horrible. Like I said, look up to the guy as a always thought he was a pretty decent human being. I still think he's a pretty decent human being. I think he just got himself into the lower debasement of life, and this is the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate, very unfortunate. So, yes, as far as I can tell, it looks like Rekieta was arrested. Yes, it looks like his wife was arrested. We don't know anything about what's going on with the kids. Don't know anything that's going on with any of it, and I can't sit here and speculate on it. I'm sure there'll be a big deal about it, and I'm sure that whichever way it goes, I'm pretty sure that he's going to get the help that he needs.
Yeah.
If not, then we just saw the fall of a really good person that did some bad shit. That's sad. Nick once said on stream, if you want to stream, but worry about how or what you'll do, don't. Just do it. Not long after Vice said something similar and led me to start my channel. So sad. Yeah. Exactly, Kaiser. That was exactly it. That was what got me going. Just open up, do your stream. I mean, how hard was it for you to do your streams whenever you were doing your recordings and following your path?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it was hard at times when I felt extra vulnerable, but knowing like I had a story, I had a purpose, I had an intention behind what I wanted to do. And I would just, like you said, you turn the camera on and you start talking. And you try and edit out a few of the swear words so you're not super offensive. But yeah, that is great advice. And clearly it's impacted at least 4 people now that I personally heard said that those words from him impacted them and their trajectory on YouTube. Just so cool. What an incredible legacy that Rekieta has by influencing and inspiring so many other people to start their channels. That's incredible.
It is. With with not even wanting that recognition, just doing it. Just like, here I am, I'm vulnerable, I'm doing my stuff, and lays it all out there. I mean, that's the part that impresses me the most. And I want to say it was someone close to Nick said, "Hey, I can reach out to Nick. He'll probably come on. If I reach out to him." And as much as I was like, "Oh, that would be so cool," deep down I was like, "Oh, that would be just like awesome." I just was like, no, I would rather show what I can do. And then be able to bring that to them and say, yeah, you were the inspiration for doing this.
Yeah.
And if I completely fail, I don't want them to be like, well, that you're the reason why I failed at doing this. I didn't want to be that one, Like, yeah, I think a lot of us would be I don't think a lot of us wouldn't be here where we are without Nick. Yeah. Even if by proxy, it's still. Like I said, there was opportunity, and I could have probably taken it, but if I would have seen him in this state, it would have like wrecked me.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard like Megan was getting really emotional earlier, and I can understand. How could you not when it's someone you care about that's struggling so deeply? It's sensitive for sure.
Yeah.
My hair is driving me nuts. I need to wash.
Yeah, I
Keep
know.
messing with it.
I know, and it's. I mean, like I said, there's going to be people that are going to grift the shit out of this for the next, oh Jesus, like 3-4 weeks. They're just going to be all over talking about it ad nauseum. It's not going to stop. It is going to be a constant. Yeah, this is Nick. You know, Nick screwing up. Look, this is Nick. He screwed up. He's not great. And well, to me, I just view this as really bad drama, and you know, I'm not playing it. Like I said, I respect Nick. I do report the news stuff, and you know, consider it have been reported. But like I said, I don't think I've got much more to say on the matter. Just saddened by it. Seriously saddened by all of it. So, you know, let the grifters grift on it. But I'm not gonna go reaching in there. You know, that's yeah, it is a sad day. Sad day. So with that, folks, I'm gonna probably fire you all off over to the expert. He's got a nice relaxing stream, and that's what we need. We need a nice relaxing stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick you guys over there, whether you like it or not.
I just pulled up his relaxing stream, and it's the least relaxing looking picture for the cover.
Yeah, I know. It's Should I send you guys over there? You guys want to go over and see Tug? Which do you want? I think. Well, hell, I know. Expert's gonna be. Nah, we'll send. Nah. I'm gonna send you guys over to Tug. Give Tug a big holler, and you know, maybe he can ease your pains a little bit. There you go. I'm gonna shut this thing down, and why don't we go out like on a happy note? I'm thinking we need some happy music. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Some happy music. I know what it is. This one right here.
Dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed